There are growing concerns in Chicago about the possibility of mass deportations. President-elect has made it no secret that immigration is a key issue for him, as it was for many voters.
This is not about immigration reform. This is about an administration who's determined to stoke fear into the people of this country.
If you go after a immigrant who has a criminal record, you find him at home, his wife is there. She does not have a criminal record. Does she get arrested?
Is she illegally in the United States?
If she's undocumented, does she get arrested too?
Yes, she'll be processed, and we'll let the immigration judge decide what happens to her.
You're talking around Inauguration Day, even on Inauguration Day?
I'm not going to forecast what we're doing and where we're doing it, but you can count on worksite enforcement coming back.
Will mass deportation hurt the economy?
I think mass deportation and results of mass deportation are more important to this country than anything.
We're getting what we voted for, guys. Chicago and its mayor is shaking as Tom Homan is determined to provide what a majority of the country actually asked for. We finally get the truth behind Michelle Obama's snub of Donald Trump's inauguration. And Vivek Ramaswamy finally breaks his silence regarding his possible position within the Senate. Now, I've got all that and more, so let's hit the ground running with our new border czar. Tom Homan was asked about Alejandro Mayorkas. Mayorkas believes that this is the most secured border we've had since 2019. And guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button and sharing these videos with your friends on social media. You guys are awesome. You guys totally help me out. I really appreciate it. Let's jump in.
So, Mayorkas, if you had just given them another 4 years, they would have definitely gotten things under control.
Look, it's just ridiculous. He inherited the most secure border in my lifetime. He just had to sit there and do nothing. The number's at a 45-year low. Illegal immigration was down 90%, 91%. He just had to come in and shut the lights down and just sit at the desk, do nothing. He systematically destroyed that border. They knew exactly what they were doing when they destroyed that border.
Am I blowing your cover when I announce that there's going to be a big raid in Chicago on Tuesday? Or do you want people to know? Maybe they can self-deport.
There's going to be a big raid all across the country. Chicago is just one of many places. We got 24 field officers across the country. On Tuesday, you're going to expect ICE. ICE is finally going to go out and do their job. We're going to take the handcuffs off ICE and let them go arrest criminal aliens. That's what's going to happen. What has ICE been doing for the last 4 years? They haven't been able to do much because Secretary Mayorkas had new ICE priorities that ICE, get this now, the Secretary of Homeland Security has told ICE, you can't arrest an illegal alien if he's just here illegally. He's got to be convicted of a serious crime or be a national security threat. He told immigration officers not to enforce immigration law. Well, we're telling ICE, you're going to enforce immigration law without apology. You're going to concentrate on the worst first, public safety threats first, but no one's off the table. If they're in the country illegally, they got a problem.
Chicago's going to be a big challenge for Tom Homan and the Trump administration. Don Terry, a spokesman for the Chicago police, said that they're not going to get in the way of other government agencies performing their duties. But he also said that they don't document immigration status, citing that they will not share information with the federal immigration authorities, which is kind of a shame because it would probably make these deportations go that much faster. Now, I also have to say that it's pretty disappointing that these officials won't step in helping to keep their city safe, because it's no secret that criminals have illegally entered our country through the border. We've seen millions pour in within these past 4 years, but that's not what the Biden administration wants you to believe.
ICE deportations over the many years, Obama administration, Trump administration, Biden administration. Please put that up. Okay, you can see in red, those are the Trump years. They were much higher. They were higher in aggregate in the Obama years.
That's right.
They were very low, noticeably lower in the first 3 years of the Biden administration. Then this huge spike. So the last year of the Biden administration actually higher than any one year in the Trump administration.
A 10-year high, actually.
Yes, 10-year high. That's actually just a way to understand what this country has been doing under different administrations when it comes to deportations. What can we expect on Monday, Camille, in terms of announcements, actions from this incoming administration?
Well, Major, we should expect the incoming administration to move aggressively and quickly to reshape federal immigration and border policy, including by undoing many Biden administration immigration programs. That includes initiatives that currently allow migrants abroad to come here legally. That could mean scaling back the refugee admissions program, also ending Biden administration parole programs that basically allow people who have sponsors to fly into the U.S. legally to relieve pressure at the border. As an alternative to crossing the border illegally, the Biden administration set up these channels so people could come here in a safe, legal, and orderly way.
Now, it's funny how they try and shape the narrative that the Biden administration had a higher number of deportations compared to Trump. Are you guys believing that? This was all within the final year of his term, without even acknowledging that he let millions upon millions of illegal immigrants to pour in through our borders. So the argument is, since he let in so much more than he deported, this is how they shaped this entire message. And we're going to hear about that from the Democrats a lot during the next 4 years, because they have to try and justify what they did during Biden's term. And what's really frustrating here is that we have Democrats that care more about criminals and illegal immigrants than they do about actual U.S. citizens.
Breaking news, too many Democrats are in full retreat when it comes to standing up for the dignity and basic rights of immigrants. Democrats in both the House and the Senate are supporting the Laken-Riley Act, which would lead to detention and deportation for DACA kids if they were arrested, even if they weren't convicted. The very idea in America is that every person should have due process and a trial, that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. Of course, violent criminals who are convicted should be deported, but we should stand up for DACA kids, TPS holders, and immigrants to have a fair trial and not deport people who simply have an arrest or accusation. Democrats need to stand up for human rights and immigrant rights and not cave to Trump's extreme agenda.
This is the same message that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is sending out, that they can stand and fight for illegal immigrants, something that they're not willing to do for me and you, because they're out here talking about illegal immigrant rights. And yet they forgot that Americans are being killed by criminals who enter the country illegally. It just doesn't make any freaking sense. So here's something that does make sense. Michelle Obama not attending Trump's presidential inauguration. Now, a report from the Daily Mail says that the former First Lady refuses to be fake about her loyalties, and she doesn't seem to be too happy about her husband and his efforts for unity. So Trump and Barack Obama, they shared clearly a very wholesome moment during Jimmy Carter's funeral, with both of them sharing smiles and laughter as Vice President Kamala Harris looked on with jealousy. Oh yeah, Kamala Harris, she was hot. She was mad, steaming over in the corner. They did not offer any answer for her refusal to show up to Trump's inauguration. There's also that one rumor where people are thinking that this might be friendship or rapport with Trump, which is leading to a divide within the Obamas. Now, some suggest that it's possible that the Obamas, Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, might be going through a divorce right now. At least this is what many people are speculating about regarding their relationship. But here's a take that I want you guys to hear for yourself.
I heard, Michelle Obama's not attending. I would kindly remind her that years back, when Obama was first elected, I did not vote for him, but they asked me to play the inauguration, and I played it, and I went. Had a good time. I went for out of respect to the presidency, so I would kindly remind Miss Michelle about that.
I forgot about that, and that's cool, because it's really not about the politics, it's about the office. And you got to respect it. Why isn't Michelle attending? All the other first ladies are.
I don't know. She seems a little angry. She might be, I don't know. If you can't say something nice, let me hear it.
That's smart for husbands and people on live television.
Now, we can say that Trump didn't attend Biden's inauguration, but some might argue that these are two different scenarios. Now, moving on, guys, Vivek Ramaswamy is not going to be a senator for Ohio. That's because it's now coming out that the billionaire is thinking about running for governor.
Right, so something else happening today, Blake. Ohio's Governor Mike DeWine announcing the replacement for J.D. Vance, who, of course, will no longer be a senator there in Ohio. He's going to be our vice president. But there's also word that Vivek Ramaswamy may be planning to run for Ohio governor come 2026 because DeWine will not be able to run due to term limits. We know Ohio's really not a swing state anymore. Does this mean that he has some pretty good odds of being Ohio's next governor?
Think about the massive rise of Vivek Ramaswamy, Nicole. 18 months ago, a year ago, 18 months, 2 years ago, whatever it was, whenever he got in, he was a political unknown, complete unknown. Ended up rising to double digits in the polls. And we've seen that often in presidential primaries, right? Like I think of Carly Fiorina back in 2016. She rose to double digits and then, of course, ended up not getting the nomination. But, you know, it's not like her political future went anywhere. The complete opposite for Vivek Ramaswamy. He is now going to have a pretty big, if nothing else, presence, or at least stay in the headlines here in the upcoming months for DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which he's going to be standing up and running and playing a big part of alongside Elon Musk, the wealthiest man in the world. And then the question is, what do you do next? And there's some reporting there here in Washington today from the Washington Post that he might run for governor there of Ohio. And if you just start to map this out and game plan this out for Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a relatively young guy, especially in the political landscape, what does his future look like over the upcoming years, over the upcoming decades?
So Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a smart guy. He's also very grounded. So it makes sense for him to slowly but surely find his footing within the political landscape. And of course, it does help that he's got a supporter in President Donald Trump. Although we should expect that he's going to be a little bit busy with Elon Musk and Doge for a few years. Now, on that note, guys, I urge you to check out our previous live stream I did where we covered the growing beef between Elon Musk and California Governor Gavin Newsom. It gets pretty freaking ugly since Gavin Newsom doesn't like how he's being exposed right now. As always, appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much for hitting the like button and sharing these videos with your friends. I'll see you guys on the next one.